Hi, thank you for the opportunity to provide my Makerspace plan. There is a transformation going on in the libraries, whether it's a school or the public libraries. A shift in emphasis on consuming information to convening and creating. Makerspaces in libraries are a big part of this conversation, where learning and CAMTR are just as significant as tools as like 3D printers. If the idea of a makerspace conjures the hurdles like the limited space, resources, or limited confidence in our tech skills. This presentation will help us to learn how to get started and grow a space in our library for creating. Together, we can debunk the hype, learn how to define our library scope and the audience, get on board, and find creative partners in our community. What is a makerspace? A makerspace is a place to be creative, an opportunity to explore common and uncommon tools. So, if you want to start a makerspace, how do you go about planning one? The first and the foremost would be to what the goals are going to be for the maker spaces to be considered. And I have listed three goals here. Fostering a makerspace mindset is a goal that can be achieved with fancy technology, but not necessarily, but all it can be achieved by accomplishing using recyclables and as simple as masking tape or a scotch tape. The second goal can be achieved by the group activities that can be created. It's going to be more like a teamwork based on the teens and the kids who come to our public library. This goal was drafted for that. And goal number three incorporates all the five C's: critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration, and citizenship that eventually will get translated into new ideas. While the goals are being drawn, one should consider the educational benefits of the makerspaces for our future career. I have listed five goals here, educational benefits here. Educational activities demonstrating five C's: development of higher order of thinking skills, the activities that align with STEM and STEAM, brain growth. It inhibits the makerspace activities inhibits brain growth both on the left and the right side. And the fifth one is going to be the curricular enrichment. The activities which are based build connections with the curriculum and to the classroom learning. Activities and experiences that meet our goal. So the first experience, first oops, the first experience is going to be the UTech model. So UTech stands for U stands for using, T for tinkering, E for experimenting, and C for creating. This model was used for our book and bind project. So the first step I used was designed and created a snowflake using the online tool and made a simple paper snowflake. And third one was I went ahead and improvised the snowflake using the popsicle stick. At this stage, it is one of the developmental stages of creativity for the users, and they can process, inherit, or invent something new. Book and build activities are one of the favorite things which I enjoyed. Activities that incorporate you take a model and that builds connection with the reading material. My goal was to tie a read aloud book on snowflakes and create snowflakes as well using different tools and materials. Problem solving and prototype was another interesting activity which I enjoyed. Any prototype or any invention starts always with a problem. And here the reason is for my thinking of a problem and finding a solution, which potentially could lead to a prototype. I designed a solution to open the produce bags for the problem solving. The I have an issue opening the grocery bags, especially now with the mask and the COVID situation. And I found out that the silicone bands, the life strong bands, if they are hot glued together on the sides and becomes like a slip on the finger and the thumb, and it's very easy to open the grocery bag. And inventing a prototype, I have a challenge when I'm doing teaching mandalas in the senior center. the adults who are there have a difficulty coloring or painting. So the how do I make them feel good that they can do some art and also have a structure for their design? So the idea behind it was to make a stencil. So I chose cardboard as well as mylar sheets to make the stencils. The ideas which I gathered from my classmates' discussions were take and make kits. I already make those take and make kits, but there were some creative, interesting things which could be added into the take and make kits. And outreach was often mentioned, and I haven't done outreach with makerspaces. This was going to be really an interesting option for us to take makerspaces. The idea number two, digital dance and Bollywood dancing. This was a idea which I stole from one of the blogs which I read, where using tools which create digital dance and they can relate it to Bollywood dancing, have it as a program and act as an activity in the library, which encourages healthy movement. Next would be what our research took. How did we do our research and what were our sources? Let's get to the article site and look at our articles, what I have used. These are the 5 articles which I have used. And these articles provided an overview of identifying the staff roles, school library, role of school libraries, types of offerings a makerspace can provide, and new competencies, and that eventually will lead up to the training of the staff. But it also showcases how to keep the community meaningful and relevant to the current day. The next one are the websites which I have liked, and these web pages are the guidepost for any makerspace, and especially mine. Starting from planning to fully functioning makerspace, the ideas are extremely good, and most of them I would be using in my future makerspace. The next one is going to be books. These are a few books which I have listed out here. Makerspaces in School by Lacey Bridger, Word Making by Laura Fleming. These books which I have mentioned in my research, they introduce us to makerspace movement filled with creativity, uh, and it also lists every material that they have used, and they also inspire us, offering tips and tricks for beginners and also for the types of projects that can be used in makerspace. Uh, this is all about spaces, how we have designed it, and what we want in our spaces. Where can my makerspace be? My makerspace is going to be in between the teen and the children area, and I would like to call it as a maker room. And this setting is going to be in a public library. Furniture that are going to be used are going to be movable, which has wheels, which can be moved along anywhere in the room. To what is there in this picture? Bear with me, my system is very slow today. And how am I going to store my material in the bins, in the tubs like this? And the card, which picture I took from Temco website. This image is also picked up from MIT website. This is pretty much how we store our materials in the library. These are some of the bookmarked resources from Dr. Kwan's website under Spaces. I would like both of these. This blog was very interesting, and I really liked it. And I said, okay, I need to bookmark this and for my future. This is a floor plan which I have created using Excel sheet. It was very easy to create and very simple. I got a hang of using Excel to do these kind of stuff. And I found a similar one in one of the blogs that was linked in renovated learning website. And if you can see, I have a green screen area. And the kids who come to our library are very much interested in creating movies, podcasts, and ads. So I needed a green. And for I kept the Legos. We have tubs and tubs of Legos. So I created a Lego. Yeah. And so I have the storage room here. This is going to be the back side of the room. And all this is going to be the tinkering area. These tables can be flipped and moved around, and they can be joined into one big space, or they can be moved anywhere. And this is going to be the staff desk, and these are already fixed computer monitors and art supplies underneath, storage underneath. And this area I put it for younger kids because of the lower level of table and chairs. And that's about it in the planning. We saw the design floor plan design in the previous slide. What did I consider when I was designing my floor plan? One, I wanted to have flexible mobile furniture and collaboration space with a whiteboard. And I have seen a couple of. We have a whiteboard which also gets converted into a television, and which has HDMI ports underneath. So my vision is to have something like that in future based on the funds available, and a research center which has books and tablets and magazines, or even the display can be put in the research center where previously done by others. The storage area and tinkering area. How am I going to fund my makerspace? My funding comes from many funds and friends of library, business and community donations, grants, and fundraisers. As I was mentioning in the previous slide, the fundraisers are going to be like book sales, book bag sales. As I was mentioning in the previous slide, the my funding comes from fundraisers. I mentioned that in the fifth, that's my fifth option. The fundraisers for the public library comes from usually by the book sales and book bags and membership cards, unique membership designed membership cards. So that is going to be an option for the fundraisers in the library. And these are the few of the items which I can procure from the donations through the community. And if it's going to be for a school library, we can request it from the parents. And most of these are recyclables and reusables which are found around the house. So I compiled the list and have shared it. And many of the items I have are listed are found in this are found in the kitchen. So these might be extras at home that can be sent to the library. I have missed out a couple of them like stamps and Watch Podge. There was a reason behind it because these can be availed from the school library programming supplies to start with. There is no need for these to be bought immediately. And let's go. Here's a donation letter that has been drafted for asking for donations in the community. This is a common donation letter. It can be used as a school library or public library donation. So I devised it for both, so it can be used for either of the location. So this would be my letter, which also talks about why we need the funding for donation for the makerspace. I have said it gives students an opportunity to engage and experience hands-on activities and develop oral and communicate written skills, oral and communicate written skills. And it also makerspaces encourages students to ask questions and build problem solving and learn STEM skills. And the only other thing I forgot to mention in this letter was it kind of builds a community, brings the community together, and it creates a good environment for kids as well as foster that good environment. That's all I can say. It creates a good environment and makes our community much more better with the makerspace and the library. If I had $5,000, what would I shop? I created a must-have and a wish list as well. Here are some of them. For me, the important thing I found were the iPads. We do have iPads at the library, but they're the old ones, and we need new ones with a better OS and better storage. And another one which we have been getting requests is for the sewing machines, especially when with COVID, interest in making masks and here's the next set of must-haves. The one thing and I added here was a podcast equipment. So this is what I was talking. They're very interested in podcasting. The kids who come to the library, the school age kids, basically, they're very interested in podcasting. As simple as alligator clips. So I thought we should have this for them to test out circuits and things like that with an LED bulbs. And you can see I did mention computer, Dell computer and green screen kit along with the Goldie blocks. And in my wish list, I have a VHS to DVD converter, TriCut, heat press, 3D printer, negative photo image converter, and an Adobe Creative Suite. I could have added this in my previous one, but I thought this should be on my wish list at this point. When out of the $5,000 which I have as a grant or a donation, The must-have totals around $3,000, 3,320 and 52 cents amount. The balance of 1,679 and 48 cents for I have kept it aside because this is the first year that I'm going to start. I don't know what I'm going to incur in between. So that is going to be used for material replenishment and any other materials that needs to be added while creating activities. And if that I have enough money on hand, I can make use of those items which are mentioned in the wish list. What is going to be? How am I going to market my makerspace? Um, Library communications such as newsletters, websites, social media, and networking sites help keep the school campus and the community informed about the event. The media, that's going to be the local press or school newsletter, school media, and media communication. Have a press launch release to answer the questions of who, what, when, where, and why. And we can always send press releases to all the local and school campus media with a personal note what we are doing about. Community partners is something which I really rely on. Utilize community partners such as local businesses, schools, and health organizations to talk about the program. This also helps to look for opportunity to include the campaign that benefit both the library as well as the partner. Libraries can also concentrate to build this as an opportunity to build volunteers who in turn can become our strength, showcasing their skills. Uh, the other one is the staff. They are our best marketeers because they talk to public, parents as well as the public on a regular basis, and they can always be our word of mouth. Say, hey, we have this program in the library. Do you want to come and check out? This is the best method of communication. And creating a consistent image. This can be with the digital signage or creating flyers, logos. This gives an opportunity. This provides an vision when people see the logo signage and they can reflect what the library offers. Along with the five listed above, I would like to mention here library supporters and the donors are also a key in marketing our plan. Inviting the supporters or donors to learn about our program, do an informal presentation, and before we open up for the public or the students, have meet over a dinner, do over a breakfast or a coffee meet at the library. How am I going to utilize the space? So, is it only going to be for the school kids or for the a certain time in the you to use the makerspace? I have opportunities for patrons to learn and create and play and explore. And this approach one is going to be for everybody, all ages, and it's free. And I have set up staggered times for all ages. That way, everybody gets a chance to use the space. And third one is going to be volunteer business technologies heads to run the makerspace. So this all these three provide libraries provide makerspaces provide an opportunity to patrons or the students to learn and create and play through exploration. This space will limit the capacity for about 50% with current restrictions. I have devised a morning 10 to 12 open for children between 3 and 7, and 10 to 12 for children 3 and 7 years old, and 12 to 3 for adults, and 3 to 6 p.m. for middle and high schoolers. And after 6 p.m., I want to keep this open for business maker spaces to target entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. This also provides volunteers, library staff, technology, and business head that can lead the makerspace activities, exposing the students to different mindset and provide an opportunity to meet and experience the knowledge they can offer. Um, the in the previous slide, we were talking about library staff and volunteers. So we can also add meetups, informal seminars on some mutual topics of interest for about 30 minutes, and we can also add challenges like organized competitions as well. So that leads us to assessment. How are we going to assess our learning from Makerspace? One is a direct feedback from the students or the patrons. Survey, observation. We can always observe and see whether our intended activity went well, how the students interact. This is something we have been doing at our library for our programs, photo voice. We take a picture of the child when doing the activity, we put them on the wall. So we know they have learned, and they, when they come back the next time, they are very excited to see themselves on the wall. And reflective forms, visit frequency and competition. And I would like to conclude saying that makerspaces are incubators to create something from our imagination. The thought of creating or starting a makerspace can be daunting, but with a plan in hand like this, we can just do it. Thank you.